Hello, and welcome. Welcome back to 1111 Oracle. If this is your first time, welcome to my very fantastic channel. Today we're going to tune in with some runes and channel the messages from Spirit to find out what you need to hear right now, what you're ready to hear. You're tuning into this video, so if you're tuning in, it means you are ready to hear the messages that have otherwise maybe been hidden from you or just not available for whatever reason. You didn't want to recognize perhaps these messages, you weren't ready to hear them. And so we're going to dive in and take a look at our choices first, and then we'll see what messages those might be. Okay, so choice number one is this crystal quartz. Choice number two is this green aventurine stone. And choice number three is a piece of fairy quartz. All right. Okay, let's get into it. Choice number one. Okay, let's start off with the runes, and then from there I'm going to go ahead and channel messages inspired by the initial messages of the rune. All right, so far I have three for you. I haven't memorized all of their names, but I believe this is Kenaz. And, whoops, I just dropped one. This is Hagalaz. And is this Ophala? Let me double check. It looks like a fish. Ophala, yes. So in regards to a fish, kind of an odd message. I mean, I myself am not Christian, and I am not religious either way. I respect all faiths, and I think there's beauty within all spiritual faiths. That being said, I do enjoy channeling messages from just the Christ consciousness and that sort of Jesus energy in general. There's a lot of wisdom to be had, and you have some special connection, whether you are Christian or not. There's some connection you have to this Jesus energy, and or some kind of Christ consciousness energies wanting to come through and relay an important message to you. So pay attention to that. That's quite the huge energy coming through. So I'm wondering what's happening in your life for this to maybe resonate. You'll have to let me know if that's totally out of left field and it doesn't resonate at all. And if that doesn't resonate, it's okay. We'll try to put it all together. But anyway, let's get into what the actual messages are here. I have my little booklet, and I'm going to just read some of the keywords that pop out at me. So, for some reason, I really want to say something about a property, ancestral property. So is there some kind of an attachment that you have to a property? Are you trying to sell a home? Or is there something that you're receiving as an inheritance? Or is there a sacred site that you would really like to go back to? Like, thinking of Stonehenge, or, it doesn't have to be Stonehenge, of course, that's just, when I think of sacred site, I automatically think of something like that, and ancestral, right? But, there's all sorts of ancestral sites all over the world. So, think of something in terms of either literally a home that you're receiving, an inheritance, or you're selling, or maybe you would like to go on a trip to a sacred land of some kind. And it doesn't have to be known sacred land. It could just be sacred to you. And you just notice the energies are very, very special. Okay, something about everybody winning, group prosperity. You win, everybody wins. So that might be an important concept and might be an important message for you. But I'm definitely getting a lot of spiritual, like heightened vibration type of vibes coming through, you know. Um, Spiritual heritage, land of birth. Maybe you're going back to your homeland. There's a special connection you have with your homeland, or there's something ancestrally being transmitted to you. And I feel that this group, you're also very connected to at least some of your ancestors, if not your ancestors in general. There's this beautiful connection where you can actually, if you're conscientious of it enough, you can channel their wisdom in your dreams, in your writing. Perhaps maybe you like to write and you don't really realize, but um, some messages come out when you write, when you journal. And these messages might seem to come out of left field, but yet they don't, because your ancestors are trying to whisper their secrets into your ear. They want you to understand some kind of knowledge or wisdom that they would like to pass to you. They're kind of saying, it's time for you to receive this knowledge now. It's time for you to receive it. So, yes, they'd like to help you in your spiritual journey at this time. And they would like to bring you more abundance. And I'm not sure what it is, but I just get this really like almost excited feeling in my chest mixed with like a sense of relief. There's something that you're beginning. There's some adventure that you're beginning. I don't know, but it seems very exciting to me. And let's see what the other rooms have to say. And we're going to put it all together a little bit more. So that was Othala, the one that reminded me of a fish. Okay, and then Hagalaz. Now, Hagalaz is an interesting one. Oftentimes, when I would just kind of casually read for myself, Hagalaz would come up. And it's interesting what Hagalaz says because it talks about a controlled crisis. I'll read it for you. You can kind of maybe see where I'm heading with this, especially with what we've been going through, right? So for some of you, there could be something in nature where it's just like maybe you're in an environment where something happened nature-wise, like, forest fires, if you're in California, or, an earthquake, if you are, I don't know, some other part of the world where there's a lot of earthquakes, or if there are a lot of, just tsunami kind of some force of nature. So it's just whatever resonates for you. Just think of if that makes sense, great. If that doesn't make sense, then hey, there are other key words here. Let's keep going. It could, instead of the weather, be more something that's uncontrolled forces within the unconscious, or the subconscious for that matter. Some trial, some feeling of like a difficulty, a trial, like you kind of stuck in yourself, and there's sort of like a tornado going on within yourself, and maybe this kind of signals this transformation, Anyway, I'm getting some really exciting energies here, but controlled crisis leading to completion and harmony. For some reason, when I hear controlled crisis, I think of, well, the whole COVID pandemic. And this, as I said, this room would come up a lot. So it could be that throughout this whole experience of being isolated from others in lockdown or shelter in place, maybe you're finally getting out of it. Maybe where you are, you're still experiencing some kind of restriction to leaving your home. Within all of these restrictive measures, you are able to connect to your ancestors and to your spirituality and your faith and your beliefs, and become even more enmeshed with the divine. So there's something beautiful that came out of this destructive force and this destructive energy, if you will, whether it was literally in the weather or something within yourself, or just, kind of making that allusion to the whole COVID pandemic. So you might have come out of just feeling a loss and a lot of hardship and a lot of difficulty, um, maybe within your own personal relationships. For some of you, I'm hearing maybe even within your marriage. I know that a lot of relationships have been hit hard with the whole, COVID pandemic. So there could have been a lot of just inner turmoil in your life, or just a lot of, chaotic energies, where within that chaos you were sort of forced within, you were sort of forced to find that peace of mind. And in order to do that, you can no longer seek out validation from, the normality within your external environment, because of course that normality just didn't exist anymore. So you're now forced to look inwards. And by looking inwards, you're actually able to connect with the, your intuitive mind more. And by doing so, you might have come into a realization of some spiritual inheritance, or some spiritual transformation, or just alignment. Maybe you even had a Kundalini awakening, or you're going to have a Kundalini awakening. I mean, all of these can be possibilities here, but we're going to look a little bit deeper in a moment. I'm going to take a look at the last rune, and it is in reverse, Knaz. Yeah. So what comes up is disease, which is interesting because we just mentioned COVID. Although this disease doesn't have to relate to COVID, and it could be metaphorical. It doesn't have to be taken literally. Maybe just something that was a dis-ease, if you separate those two words, something that does not give you ease, almost like discomfort, the opposite of ease, that puts you in a state of disalignment. I also have keywords like breakup, instability, lack of creativity, nakedness, so vulnerability, exposure, right? Loss of illusion, false hope. Wow. That is super fascinating. I don't know what happened to the... Oh, there we go. The owls. The owls, they disappeared, but now they're back. And maybe, I don't know, you have... I remember I mentioned the owls in the last video that I just did recently, so maybe owl is a totem animal for you. You may want to look into that, which would be interesting because owls are often associated with wisdom and knowledge as far as totem animals are concerned. And so you may be... yeah, I'm just getting this image of your, your ancestors and that spirit world just trying to come through you and pass you messages of wisdom. And so I keep being brought back to the word of wisdom, knowledge, owls. Yeah, so definitely look up owl totem or spirit animal owl. Really, really super interesting. I want to pull out one more rune for some reason, and I'm not sure what it's called. So give me a moment. I just have to find it. There's no alphabetical order for runes, or if there is, I wouldn't know because it's a different alphabet altogether. As you can see, that looks like an M, of course, but it's not. Ehwaz. Ehwaz. Oh, this is really, really, really beautiful. Some of the keywords that pop out at me are movement, change for the better, gradual development, steady progress, harmony, teamwork, trust, loyalty, an ideal marriage or partnership, confirmation beyond doubt, the meaning of the runes around it. Oh my goodness. So this is a really, really nice extra rune that I popped up. And I mean, you can't really see them up close. So I just have them on the table here, and that's fine. You can look at the magic of this, the background. So what I'm getting is that you've gone through a really difficult time. I am getting that you have gone through a difficult time within your marriage or partnership. And if that's not the case, it could just be that, there was something where maybe partnerships weren't working out, or there's just some kind of disconnect where you felt very isolated. Take what resonates. But for a lot of you, I'm getting very strongly the concept of partnership and marriage, that sort of dissolving of the fabric, that worked quite nicely, and it was quite strong before, but now all of a sudden that fabric, just seemed to come apart and split apart. And the foundation, basically you had like this tower moment where the foundation was shaky and it just wasn't working anymore. It didn't serve anyone anymore, and it just needed to come down. And it felt like the end. But actually, your ancestors, and that sort of Jesus energy, if you will, is coming through to give you that love and that confirmation that no, either this is not the end and there's some kind of renewal, and there's a transformation of what was broken into something brand new and beautiful, which really touches my heart. Or there is someone new on the horizon for you. And if it's not an actual person, then I'm seeing this renewal of the unity within yourself. And when you really come into unity within yourself, as above, so below, as within, so without. I don't know if that's the rest of the saying, but I'm going to say it is. Whatever goes on in the outside is also a reflection of what's going on in the inside. And so if you're not happy with yourself, then you're going to find that, that energy is going to echo itself on the outside in other relationships around you. Maybe if you don't love yourself enough, you don't accept yourself enough, you're going to look for that validation from others. And they're not going to be able to they're never going to be able to fulfill that gap, because, that would mean that the person would be literally have to be attached at the hip to you, and they would always have to give, and that's also exhausting for that other person. It's exhausting for you as well, because you're never fully sure, are they telling the truth, but are they not? And maybe sometimes they're not having a good day, and then you feel bad about yourself, and that's a terrible yo-yo up and down ride for you, and that's not gonna do you any justice. It's not gonna serve you at all, right? So, what I think is, it's a super cliche, but if anything, the chaos on the outside was actually trying to break down your confidence in outside sources, so that you had no choice but to turn inwards, to have an inward facing gaze. And then you're forced to focus on yourself. You're forced to dissect yourself. You're forced to take out and uproot what was no longer needed, what you no longer need, empty your metaphorical backpack, so to speak. And by doing this, you can lighten the load. Now you can fill your backpack with those items that are really going to aid you in your journey moving forward. You don't need this soggy wet towel anymore, because, well, it's stained, it's ripped, it's tattered, and yes, it did its purpose, but, you need another towel, so we're going to get rid of that towel, we're going to use another towel, whatever, analogy you want to fill in that space with what is now going to serve you. And so your ancestors are coming through to say, all is not lost, hope is not lost, renewal is on its way, and you're being more and more connected to your spirit team, the spirit world. And this, interestingly enough, the more you, it all works in unison for you. It's all in conjunction together. The chaos was never a punishment. It was never, it doesn't matter how hard you try, we're just going to keep throwing difficult things your way. No, it was just really to say, this no longer works. We don't know what we can do to force you to focus in, instead of always looking on the outside, looking on the outside, looking on the outside. And whereas the inside is actually, it almost seems more comfortable that way, and you can feel sort of, but comfortable that things are going well on the outside. But the problem with that is, one day you're going to be good, one day you're not going to be good, and so you're basically like, I'm almost seeing like if you were like a helium balloon or something, you're just being blown away, or a leaf in the wind, right, just being blown in whatever direction, no stability, no grounding. And so maybe one day you're going to feel good, but the next day you're not going to feel good, and you're like an emotional chameleon, and that's just not healthy for you anymore. It's not going to serve you anymore. It's not working, right? So with this inner connection that you now have, you're not only connected to yourself, you're connected to your inner voice, your higher self, your goals, your ideals, who you are, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, the attitudes and behaviors that you'd like to exhibit moving forward that are healthy versus the attitudes and behaviors that don't work moving forward, right? And by doing so, you're also connecting yourself very spiritually to your spirit team, to your ancestors. And so you're becoming more spiritually evolved and like a beautiful channel to the divine. And you have these beautiful gifts in you that maybe they're a little inert, and you just have to discover them or open them up. They've always been there, I'm hearing. And you have this interesting Jesus connection, so you may want to explore that. It doesn't matter what religion you are. Uh, take what resonates, of course, whatever's comfortable. And then, of course, the beautiful conclusion, I guess, of this whole difficulty. And of course, it's not really a conclusion. It's just, one cycle's ending and another cycle's beginning. But we can look at the conclusion to the difficulty is that now either there's a renewal and faith and unity within yourself and just yourself, and then you're going to see that reflected in relationships around you, or that unity is also being, being shown to you, or being more obvious, or presenting itself to you in the form of an actual partnership, solid, stable partnership, renewal within your home life and your marriage. Or maybe someone is coming on the horizon now that you're finally, feeling that love for yourself and in unity with yourself and in alignment. Now you're a good match for someone who is also in union and alignment with themselves. So you become this perfect pair, this beautiful, healthy pair. That was really, really beautiful, guys. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I look forward to reading for you in a future video. Hello, number 2. Group number 2. Let's start off with pulling out some runes. I'm hearing that some of you guys have questions, though, and so I kind of want to do a pendulum yes or no thing for you. So this is how it works. If the pendulum goes back and forth, then that's a yes, and if it goes side to side, then it's a no. And if it goes in a sort of, it doesn't know where it's going, then it could be a maybe, or it could be that it depends on you. Take things with a grain of salt if you don't get the answer that you want. Maybe you didn't, maybe you asked, maybe your question was a little confused and you had different energies going on there. So you just want to make sure that you're very clear-headed and you ask the right question here. All right, so let's see. Go ahead and ask your question. If you don't have a question, then I don't know. Just enjoy the pendulum swinging, I suppose. But if you do have a question, go ahead and ask it. Please go to the ready for question. All right, thank you, pendulum. And get ready to ask your question. So pendulum, please let us know if this is a yes or a no. Is it a yes or a no, or a maybe so? Okay. So whatever the question you asked, the answer is a no. Don't take that as a negative thing. Again, it could be a positive thing. Maybe you asked something that you just like, good God, you don't want the answer. You don't want a negative. You don't want a positive. You want a negative response. Maybe you had some anxiety over something. But either way, don't worry if it doesn't resonate. And you're like, I don't think so. I think it's a yes. And if you think it's a yes, that's fine. That's great. Actually, all the power to you. Even better, because you know who you are the best. So I'm going to go ahead and see what rooms come out for you for the message that you are meant to hear at this moment. You are ready to hear. Okay. Oh. Okay, now you got the, very interesting. You got a blank rune here, which is interesting. Some readers don't like the blank rune. They think it's bad luck. I disagree with that. All right. I think it means that there are some unknown factors involved and that there are a lot more possibilities than the eye can see. And so since I'm doing the reading, we're going to go by my interpretation. And I actually really like the blank rune. I think it's a very, very powerful, just like the number 0 is associated with the God number. I believe that the blank rune, like the number 0 in numerology, is a very, very powerful energy to have in your reading right here. Okay. We have Awas. Okay, so there's another, in the other reading, I also had a similar name, but I guess I pronounce it the same, so I'm not sure how to pronounce it. This one, similar pronunciation, but some words are different either way. This is your rune. Let's see what it says. So, a couple of the words that pop out at me are strength, reliability, dependability, trustworthy, enlightenment, endurance, defense, protection. I think I'm going to read all of it because I feel like it's all relevant. The driving force to acquire, providing motivation and a sense of purpose, indicates that you have set your sights on a reasonable target and can achieve your goals. An honest man who can be relied upon. So perhaps there's either you're the honest man that can be relied upon, or if it's not you, then there's a man that you can you feel very confident that you can rely upon them. I'm going to change. We want some incense. We want some magic going on here. So, I have to get it out by force. Anyhow. Alright. Just a moment. I'm going to get some mystical smoke going. All right. So, something, you have been working hard, my friend, and you've been working really, really hard, and basically the universe is coming in to say, you are going to meet your goal. You're going to meet your goal. You've been working hard towards it. You're going to meet your goal. Either you are the reliable, trustworthy man, or someone who you know is a reliable, trustworthy man. And there's a lot of, I feel, divine protection around you. You're very, 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 very protected. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. We have Wunjo. I like saying some of these names. Wunjo. Joy, comfort, pleasure, fellowship, harmony, prosperity, ecstasy, glory, spiritual reward, but also the possibility of going over the top. I don't see that necessarily. Okay, I'm just but maybe it resonates. I'm going to say it anyway. The possibility of going over the top, if restrained. So there's something that needs to be kind of contained, maybe an energy that needs to be contained. So take what resonates. The meaning in general is success and recognition of worth. Wow, beautiful. And then you have the blank rune, which is very interesting. And I think there is something very, very powerful about this reading, something very divinely powerful about this reading, where you're going to be recognized for all of the hard work that you have done. And if you're not going to be recognized by people, literal people in the 3D, you're going to be recognized by the divine, your spirit team, spirit guides, the spirit world in general. And I'm feeling there's something about you that is very you just have this powerful energy around you. I don't know if you have come out of a slump. I don't know if you've had a hard time, and you maybe you don't feel that you have very powerful energy. Maybe you have felt weak in the past. So the message that you need to hear right now is quite the opposite. You are uh, way more powerful than you think. You're actually exceptionally, extremely powerful as a soul. And when I say power, I don't mean dominance over others or having more riches or more status or whatever. I'm talking about power in the raw energy sense of the word. You're powerful. Your energy is powerful. Okay, maybe you have a big heart, maybe you're very wise, maybe there's something about your presence that really stands out, and your aura may be just very gigantic or magnetic, and it reaches and extends out over yards from your body. I don't know. But there's something very, very powerful about your presence. And part of it has to do with this connection that you have with the divine. So far, groups 1 and 2 are similar but different. And if you were drawn to one, you can check that out. But otherwise, I'm telling you right now that you're this very powerful being, beautifully spiritual, powerful being. And I'm loving the energies that I'm attracting to my channel. I'm loving the highly spiritual soul family tribe that I'm attracting here, because it's just really, really beautiful to connect with other spiritual beings. Sometimes when we go about our day and we think differently from other people, it's very difficult to connect. We may be feeling like we have to put on a face for others, and there are certain things that we can say and certain things that we maybe shouldn't say, because people are going to take it the wrong way. But it's nice to have this I guess this channel, or this space for myself, and hopefully for you guys as well, where we can really connect with one another, and we just get one another, because we have similar experiences, or complementary experiences in the spiritual sense. So really, really a pleasure. It's a pleasure to connect with you here. And there is something that you've been working on for a long time. And you maybe at one point you couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe you just felt like you're just trudging on and on and on. It was like, I keep working at it and I keep working at it, and then when is it going to come about? And I keep working at it, and it's like, now is your time, apparently. I mean, you are finally, oh, hallelujah, oh my God, like you just want to start dancing and howling to the moon, right? It's just like, it finally is happening. Oh, such a relief. So you can finally, it's like that. I love that you have the word ecstasy. What a beautiful feeling, right? That just powerful, beyond happy feeling. Just this powerful electric energy just running through your veins. So you are a powerhouse, my friend, and you are achieving your goal. You are finally, drawing in what you have worked so hard to achieve. I'm glad that you kept going. You should feel really proud of yourself. Congratulations to you. You should feel very, very ecstatic, and obviously you should feel very proud of yourself. You've put in the work, you've done everything by the book, and you kept trying to find different ways, even outside of the box, by the book, any way that you can, just get to your goal in the healthiest, most beneficial way to you and others, and you're finally, finally, if you're not right there, you're right at the precipice of this. And so if you're not quite there, keep going, keep going. You're almost there, you're almost there. Keep going, keep going, keep going. It's like a race, right? It's keep going, keep going, keep going. You're almost there. You don't see it. Like you're in the water. Maybe you're swimming, right? You're doing laps, and like you don't see that you're right at the edge of the pool. Come on, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. And so sometimes we need that encouragement. So maybe you just happened upon this video, and perhaps you just needed some encouragement that keep going, keep going, keep going. The blank room, there's so much information that comes out of this. I think there's a lot that is up and coming that you just don't see, just like the end of the pool. Like if you're in the water and you're swimming, right, you just don't see it. So there's a lot that's up and coming that you just don't see, a lot of beauty and mystery that's going to be revealed to you. And I'm feeling that you're going to really be privy to a world of divine beauty that not a lot of people are privy to. So kind of scary, but in a super exciting way. You may find that, you'll have maybe certain paranormal experiences that you didn't have. So make sure that you watch your boundaries and you ground yourself and protect yourself. But something gives me the impression that you have done a lot of work in grounding yourself and protecting your boundaries and all of that. So all you really need to do now is keep putting one foot in front of the other. You're almost at the finish line. And beyond the finish line, once you open that magical door to the other side, through the black hole, the portal to the other dimension, you're going to see a whole new world that you never even knew existed, and it's going to be amazingly beautiful. So I am so excited for you. You've finally gotten here. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. Let me know in the comments below if you want to share, any of the work you've been doing, whether spiritual or not. Anyway, I look forward to connecting with you, and I look forward to reading for you in a future video. Hello, number 3 with fairy quartz. I love that, fairy quartz. Isn't that so beautiful? Just that there's a crystal called fairy quartz. Anyhow, let's dig in here. Let's find out what messages are being revealed to you at this time. Do you need to drink more water? Are you dehydrated, or do you have a special connection with the ocean or the water? Something about the water comes through really strongly, so I don't know. Take what resonates. If that doesn't resonate, then hey, I guess another glass of water couldn't hurt. But. Ooh. Okay. This is interesting because okay, so see, this is where my brain's at. Of course, this is a different alphabet altogether, but what does that look like? PM. Something about the nighttime is particularly important here. Dreams? Are you having interesting dreams? Are you having trouble sleeping at night? Is something going on at night, or something exciting happening at night? I don't know, something about the nighttime. Something maybe about you being very connected to the moon. We talk about the ocean. The ocean's related to the moon and the water, etc. So you may be very connected to the moon. Something about the nighttime, the moon, the tides. Look into the phases of the moon. Okay, you have a blank room. Sorry, let's take a look. So this, I forget. And I had this in another reading and I forget what it was called. I forget. What is it called? Let me tell you in a moment. Oh, come on. Where is it? All right. So this rune. All right. Iwaz. And then you have this rune, which, interestingly enough, I think I pulled this one out. Yeah, I guess I did. Just for some reason, I feel like the stone is different, but I guess not. Okay, Wunjo. So I'll start with Wunjo first. So the words that pop out are joy, comfort, fellowship, harmony, glory, spiritual reward. I'm going to read all of the words. Joy, comfort, pleasure, fellowship, harmony, prosperity, ecstasy, glory, spiritual reward, but also the possibility of going over the top. If restrained, the meaning is general success and recognition of worth. All right. I feel the need to read the reverse. So maybe you've come out of this, or maybe you still feel that you're in this, which you might say like, well, I don't feel any of what you just said. So maybe you feel more of the reversed energies, which are stultification. Oh, I don't know what that means. It's a new word for me. I'm going to look it up. Maybe you know what stultification means, but stultification. Let's do a vocabulary lesson, ladies and gents. To cause, to appear, or be stupid, foolish, or absurdly illogical. Stultify. So something about feeling stupid? Do you feel dumb right now? Interesting. Sorrow, possession by higher forces. I don't know. Possession by higher forces is an interesting one. Maybe you feel that, your spirit team is working against you somehow, or be careful of dabbling into the wrong types of energies. Like, I feel the need to say this for this group. Stay away from things like the Ouija board. I have quite a few people close to me have had really bad, really bad experiences with the Ouija board, including when I was growing up. My family and I, we had friends of the family where their kids would use the Ouija board on a daily basis. I don't know. And then they ended up inviting a ghost into their home, and the home was haunted by this ghost that would push their bed every night and freak them out and stomp around in the basement. And it got to a point where one of the kids they had their bedroom in the basement, and then they refused to sleep in the basement because they were completely freaked out. So watch out. I have a whole bunch of other stories, but yeah, when you do things like the Ouija board, you're not inviting higher entities, higher vibrational entities. You're inviting ghosts who are desperate to communicate, and you're inviting lost souls, you're inviting malevolent beings, and they will say anything. They will say anything to, they'll tell you they're your grandfather, or maybe that was one of your experiences where you did, you were trying to connect to a loved one, and they said, yes, I'm your grandfather. And you're like, oh my God, grandpa, you're talking to me. And it's like, yeah, that's like the wolf in, Little Red Riding Hood, who pretends to be the grandmother. I'd be careful with that, I don't believe that it was your grandfather if that was the case. So just watch out. And so higher forces, well, not really higher forces in this case, lower forces, but it's all relative. Take whatever meaning resonates with you. Impractical, enthusiasm, raging, frenzy, berserker. Right, berserker, to go crazy. And I forget where that word resonates or originates from, but anyway, berserker. So you may have felt really out of your mind lately. So the concept of harmony and prosperity and just, success and all of that might just be something that completely eludes you and you're like, I don't know how that makes any sense with what's going on right now. Now, it could make sense if you're just getting out of this energy, but there's a reassurance that if you were in this other energy of just rage and craziness and frenzy and berserker and just like out of your mind completely, you are coming in to a very, very different kind of energy, and a completely opposite type of energy where you're kind of, feel a lot of peace and harmony and just, wonderful success and joy and comfort, pleasure, right? Just feeling good in general. So definitely consider that, yes, you are coming out of that energy. So that's a nice confirmation for you. All right, what else do we have with Ewas? Right? Looks like an M. So you may be literally going on a trip because they have transportation. You may look at totem animal horse or spirit animal horse, or the symbolism of horse could be important to you. So we have, car, plane, boat, or other vehicles. So some kind of trip that you're planning perhaps, or movement. It could be symbolic. It doesn't have to be like a literal physical trip. Movement, change for the better. Gradual development and steady progress are indicated. Harmony, teamwork, trust, loyalty. An ideal marriage or partnership confirmed beyond doubt the meanings of the runes around it. So really feel like there's some movement from this stuck energy to this flowing, harmonious energy that's really in alignment. The blank rune here, in my interpretation, some people don't like the blank rune. Whenever they see it, they just put it back and replace it with something else. But I kind of look at the blank rune like the number 0 in numerology, so very linked to that God number, right? The 0 is considered the God number. You might want to look that up. Might be interesting to you. And I feel like in your case, it just really portends to this abundance of beauty and possibility that is coming your way. There's so much beautiful there's so many beautiful possibilities that are on the horizon for you, and you're not even aware of it. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing that you're not aware, because you couldn't even imagine all of the wonderful, amazing things that are coming your way. Just a lot of really wonderful times, wonderful experiences, and you got the card of, not the card, but the rune of, ideal marriage partnership. So perhaps your partnership, very similar to, I think it was number 2 or number 1. Anyway, they're all kind of, there's a similarity that's repeated themselves in all 3. So all 3 groups have been different, but there's been some similarities connecting them all. Anyway, but they each have their distinct flavor. In this case, I feel like you are finally moving out of whatever that yucky, stuck energy is into this beautiful, flowy energy, and this is going to, flow over to your relationships, your marriage if you're married, or a stable partnership that you have, or perhaps maybe there's a renewal, or maybe there's someone new on the horizon. Whatever it is, there's just this general idea of moving from darkness to light. That is the main theme for your group. Moving from the dark to the light. Now, is the dark bad? No. If you had to do it all over again, well, obviously you wouldn't want to be back in the dark, but if you can really reflect on everything you've been through, can you draw out things that you appreciate from the experiences that you've just had? And if you can, I really want you to sit and think about it for a minute, maybe even journal it out, and just think, what have I learned from this dark time, from this dark place? What are some of the lessons that I've learned? And I think you'll find that you have learned many lessons. And now it's really just a question of applying those lessons. I think you've already applied a lot of them, but continue to apply them, and you're going to find that your world is just going to do a complete 180. It's kind of like you experience the reverse of a tower moment. If you're experiencing a tower moment before, it's almost like you're really building that tower, that new tower back up. That you've already constructed this beautiful foundation. You have this nice base going. So now you can really build. Now you can make something truly beautiful, truly your own, and you're being rewarded for your patience and for your persistence and for your resilience and for your stamina throughout this whole entire process. I hope this message is comforting to you. I hope you find comfort in these words. And I really, really, really look forward to maybe connecting with you in the comments and hearing what you have to say or reading what you have to say. I am being drawn to take out one more rune for you. I'll show you it in a minute. Sorry. Fehu. Fehu talks about possessions one are earned income, luck, abundance, financial strength in the present or near future. Hey now. Sign of hope and plenty, success and happiness, social success, energy, foresight, fertility, someone giving birth here, creation, destruction. Interesting. Just like, it's like that, just sort of illustrating that dichotomy, destruction of the old and creation of the new, taking apart what no longer is good for you and moving forward. You were coming out of this feeling of a loss of self-esteem, or something that you maybe put effort in and then you just lost it for whatever reason. It can indicate some kind of failure in the past, some kind of burnout that you have experienced, a discord, and maybe even poverty. Maybe you went through financial poverty, so that comes up quite a bit, that word poverty, and then the abundance and the financial, etc. So I would say that money is on the way, or something to do related with your finances. Your finances are going to grow. Abundance. If you're not feeling this right now, this is going to come, and shortly, because we have the words near future, not just future, near future. So this could be in the next coming weeks, months, and definitely within the year. Not, when we talk about near future, I would say more, I would think more months. You're really going to start to see that abundance coming in. So there's definitely hope around the corner. There's lots of hope. There's lots of success and happiness awaiting for you. You're going to feel more energy. You're going to feel, maybe you're going to give birth. Maybe you're having difficulty giving birth. If you're a woman, if you're a man and you're in a relationship and you're trying to have a baby with your wife or your significant other, then maybe that's going to happen. Or maybe you're going to adopt, or maybe you're starting a new project that, kind of flopped in the past, but now it is going to expand and grow. And honey, you have finally made it. Welcome home to yourself, to your essence, to who you are. Welcome to the you that you've always been working towards, the you have always been. And wow, this has been quite a journey. You've had a lot of good things around the corner, a lot of empowering, moments up ahead, wonderful fun and adventures, connections, and real bonding with real people who truly care about you. Beauty is up ahead, and beauty is within you. 'Cause that is where it always was, and you just needed this moment to discover it. So when you look back on, the past and the darkness, you'll find that the darkness needs to happen in order for you to focus on your own light and to realize that in order to really get out of that darkness, you just have to get lit, right? You just have to find that light within you that was always there. Realize that you are the light in the darkness. Really, really beautiful, powerful message. There's lots of beauty to be found in the darkness. There are a lot of lessons to be found in the darkness. And once you get into the light, you can really enjoy the fruits of your labor, and you can enjoy those lessons, that understanding that you've earned and you worked very hard towards. So I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I look forward to reading for you in a future video.